Okay, so I'm sat in the studio at QPod with two special guests because coming up on the 11th of April, there's a sleepover at Boundary Park. Now, it's not going to be all pyjamas, popcorn, girly giggles. It's going to be wrap up warm. You're going to be freezing your nuts off in the stand because it's in aid of homelessness. So I've got Adrian Stores from Oldham Athletic Community Trust and Jonathan Billings from Egg to tell us more about the event and why it's being done. So welcome to the studio, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Adrian, I'll start with you. I made a brief video with you the other day where we sat in the stands at Boundary Park. My interest in this, I saw it like many fans will have done on social media and on the club's website. I just want to try and give some exposure to the event because battling homelessness and giving people support and help that are in those positions is really important. The Community Trust is all about the community, and obviously there is a homeless community within Oldham. You said on that short video other clubs have done this kind of thing before. What was the spark that got this off the ground, Adrian?
I think it's you'd have to be walking around blindfolded to not realise that homelessness is a massive issue throughout the UK. Certainly in the Northwest, it's become more and more prevalent, and it's more and more on the agenda, and people are talking about it. And I think as long with all of the other things we do at Oldham Athletic Community Trust, the reality is that we haven't done anything that specifically will benefit the homelessness. So to actually get into bed with 4 charities that focus purely on that as a topic, it's really exciting, and it's going to be really rewarding for us to organise this event.
So before we come on to Egg, which are obviously represented here by Jonathan, the other 3 charities, one is Oldham Athletic Community Trust, because you're the lead charity on this event. So obviously you need money to do what you do. Who else? What are the other 2 charities involved?
Well, you're going to hear from Egg, like you quite rightly allude to in a second, an extraordinarily worthwhile charity. But on top of that, we've got Oldham Food Bank, which Oldham Athletic Community Trust has helped with donations in the run-up to Christmas. But it's always a fond favourite of ours to do what we can to help that wonderful organisation. And then on top of that, obviously the hospital that's right next to us at Boundary Park. We've done a variety of things for different units, different departments within that hospital. But this time around, working with Northcare Charity, we're going to be working towards helping the staff, the clinicians and the nurses that particularly deal with homeless people that ultimately end up being referred into that hospital.
Yeah. I mean, that's obviously you're living on the streets. You're very vulnerable, aren't you? And you are going to, if you go in A&E, I was going to say on a regular basis, then you either work there or you're really unlucky, which is one of the two. But I guess, Jonathan, you'll be someone to be able to explain a little bit more about what you do and maybe a little bit more about the lives of homeless people. I mean, I'm quite a political person, but I don't want to get into all that because this is a football podcast.
Yeah.
But, having homeless people in this day and age seems to be a bit, unacceptable. But there are, and their lives are extremely difficult, aren't they?
It can be very difficult for people. I mean, homelessness is a symptom of other things that have gone wrong in people's lives.
Yeah.
In most cases, Egg's a little bit different as a homeless charity because we 100% focus on getting people into employment and housing. So that for a lot of people who are rough sleeping or homeless at the moment isn't realistic at all or achievable. For many, many different reasons, and we help people navigate other services so they could get to that employability stage later on in their lives. For other people, we can fast track them straight into employment, straight into housing. We can fund housing ourselves. So any money that we raise from events like this will have an absolute direct impact on changing people's lives. They won't be paying for staff. They won't be paying for any of our ongoing bills of running the charity. All the money that we raise will be spent on actually supporting people out of homelessness. And we do that by, we have lots and lots of different partner employers right across Greater Manchester. Got quite a few in Oldham. We match somebody into a place of work, and then we can fund their first month's rent. So we'll fund a deposit and a first month's rent. And then, second month, the client pays their own bills. we kind of focus on the side of homelessness, which is kind of a little bit hidden. So it's people who are maybe sofa surfing. In some cases, it is people who are rough sleeping, but it's mainly people who are inappropriately housed or sofa surfing with friends, that kind of thing.
Well, those people are the people that they might be in that situation now, but they're really vulnerable. That the next step might be rough sleeping, might it? You know, like for whatever reason, they're in that situation where they've got no security, and if something else goes wrong or something happens in somebody else's life, and they've got nobody else, they could end up on the street. So you're trying to prevent that, by the sounds of it, and also giving people that step. I was in Manchester a couple of weeks ago, and there was a guy asking for change. I didn't have any, but the girl in front of me, she just said, "Oh, why don't you just get a job?" I don't know if she said that directly to him or to her friend that she was with. And it's like, that's really not, it's not as simple as that, is it?
No, it really isn't. You know, it can be, you know, everybody's different and everybody's got different needs and different circumstances. But sometimes work has to be done before somebody would be realistically employable. So we focus on those people who it is realistic and achievable. If that visible homelessness that we all see on our streets and towns and cities, right, not just in Oldham or Manchester, but right across the country, is they're probably not ready to go into employment right now. And like I said, we plant seeds with those people, but we kind of focus on that more hidden side that people don't really see that much. So the charity's quite new. We've been going about 3 years. In that 3 years, we've got about 150 people rehoused and probably about 110 of that 150 into full-time work. Another element of what we do is we support people to start their own businesses. So we've got 3 people who were all street homeless 12, 18 months ago, who are now in their own accommodation, running their own businesses, which,
Brilliant.
you know, is just, you know, that's kind of the niche of the niche, if you like. But, you know,
but it just shows as well, I mean, what an inspiring story for other people that you work with when you make the first point of contact and you can say, look, this is what these people have done. That was incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done. Yeah, I mean, it's great. And that's the thing. There's people out there helping other people. As a society, we need to help each other. And football clubs, Adrian, have a unique audience within a community, don't they? And a unique reach. And what is it that you're trying to achieve in terms of numbers for the event on the 11th of April?
I think you're exactly right. I was talking to Danny in our office at the Oldham Athletic Community Trust this morning, and he was telling me about the Stoke City example when they've done it. I think they might be into year 2 or 3. Equally, Martin from our office put me into Bolton Wanderers, so we went across there, and the beauty was they were just so open book and cooperative in terms of sharing with us how they'd gone about it and everything, and we've used that as a template for our inaugural one on April the 11th. We're quite ambitious, and so where else would you want to sleep than in the shadow of the Joe Royal stand? But no home comforts, proper, worthy, real-life experience of homelessness with a lot of education going on the night as well. So we'll aim for 200. That's our target. Doing really well at the moment, just to prove how good the Latics fans have been to us. But Latics so far, I think we're up to about 75 that have signed up.
Right,
so that's great. But with the extremely good publicity that you're very kindly giving us, Matt, if we can boost numbers up to 200, then we'll be happy all round. Yeah,
and you're looking to then raise a minimum of £50 per person.
50 is what was set as the minimum target of everybody that's participating. Yeah. But already the few that have started already, and some of them have started the fundraising already, they've smashed that already. So we hope that a few will go on to get higher than that. And obviously, like we say, it's all split between the 4 beneficiary charities. So it's a very worthwhile fundraiser, and we hope people will come along and join us.
Absolutely. And I think we should definitely start a movement on the podcast. So I host a podcast with a guy called Andy Halliwell who lives in London. And he's obviously dead posh and dead rich and moves in all the most elite circles. I'm not sure whether he can come up and spend the night rough, but Sexy Dave Bradley, who's my co-host on the Latics Football Phone-In, will be at Twickenham this weekend to watch the rugby. So he's a big daft posh Tory sod and all. Well, he's not really, but he likes to think he is. His aspirations are being. So I'm sure our listeners would love Dave to be sleeping rough at Boundary Park on the 11th of April. So I'm putting forward a petition now for Dave to do that. I might join him as well. I'm certainly planning on being there and reporting on the event. But if you would like Dave to be doing it, please send your pledges of how much you'd like to pay to see Dave spend the night uncomfortably at Boundary Park. I think all of us would like to see Dave in discomfort. I mean, that's just a given. I'll certainly chuck a few quid in for that as well. Because he doesn't like the cold. He's a big softie, so he'll hate it. It will be April, so it won't be. I mean, you have to spare a thought for people that are living rough, Jonathan. Like, I mean, this time of year, December, January, February. I mean, even in November, it hit early this year, didn't it, with the cold?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
So it must be horrendous.
It is extremely difficult for people who are out on the streets. I mean, just in speaking about Oldham alone, there's some absolutely fantastic homeless services in Oldham who we work alongside with and get referrals from. So we provide drop-ins at a lot of the hostels in Oldham. So if Oldham Council have placed someone in one of their ABEN hostels, then our staff are out there giving people advice on how to go about getting into employment. And we also work quite closely with the Sanctuary Trust, who provide like a rough sleepers outreach around Oldham, who are an absolutely fantastic organisation who, again, make referrals into EGG on our behalf.
Yeah. I like to think, I mean, like I said, you don't want to bring politics into it, but what you can do, what football does, you're a City fan, Jonathan, Adrian works for Oldham Community Trust, but he's a Stockport fan, but, you know, we don't hold it against him, is that you keep politics out of it, and you're all together as fans, aren't you, next to each other, and, you know, you all want to help your club succeed, and why not translate that into trying to help your community succeed as well? You know, like, that's regardless. When somebody's homeless, you look at them and they're vulnerable and they need help, and I think that, you know, having some humanity is looking at people and saying, I want to help that person in some way, and that's what we can do on the 11th of April. And I'd like Oldham fans to show that they care about people that they don't know and that they may never meet by doing something, you know, really, really challenging as well, because it's going to be an uncomfortable night, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely will be. Yeah, it's a massive challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's easy. We're away at Yeovil the next day, by the way, which I had got my eye on going to. But I don't know if I'd fancy it much after spending the night in the Joe Roll stand, getting aches and pains, and I suppose you'd be up early. I mean, there'll be coaches leaving from Boundary Park, won't there?
There will be.
And so you could potentially, and you'll be knackered, so you'll have a sleep on the coach, won't you? Yeah, so that's an option, isn't it? Get on the coach. Loads of like really, you know, dishevelled looking Latics fans on the terraces at Yeovil, but yeah, why not?
I think your idea is a great one, actually. Yeah. I mean, Yeovil's is one heck of a journey, so the idea of getting a good sleep on the journey down there without the need to revert to sleeping tablets or anything else of that ilk.
And then when you get down to Yeovil, there'll be pasties, there'll be cider. You're away, like, you're rejuvenated. I mean, this is the upside. This is the thing. This is like, if you're homeless, you wake up that morning, you've God knows what the day ahead lies. You've certainly not got a warm coach, pasties, cider, Latics winning, and then a nice comfortable trip home, have you? So, you know, that's you know, you can count yourself very lucky then after the experience.
I think you could get a job with the Somerset Tourist Board. That's a great.
I mean, if I can get lots of free Thatcher's cider, which I'm a big fan of, then I'll be happy with that. Yeah,
Thatcher's cider or Scrumpy. Oh, it's got to be the way forward.
Scrumpy, I mean, that's loony juice. It's loony juice, you know. But yeah, Thatcher's is my summer drink. I love a bit of Thatcher's. So I'll be getting this. I'll be tagging them in on this particular part of on social media. That's Thatcher's. Anyway, let's move on. So, Egg, where can we find you? And you say you're across Greater Manchester. How do we find you on social media and stuff?
So on any of the networks, you can just look for EGG, which stands for Engage, Grow and Go. Right. And that's not just a snappy tagline. That's what the ethos of the organisation is. We want to engage with people who are either at risk of homelessness or are homeless. We want to put them through that period of growth till they get to their goal, whatever that goal may be. Yeah. Most cases, it's employment and housing. But yeah, you can look us up on any of the socials or on our website, which is just egg.charity.
So if people do want to sign up, Adrian, how do they do it?
Well, I keep telling you that the most logical place to look is the Oldham Athletic Community Trust website, because it's a permanent news story on there, or the club's main website, Oldham Athletic Football Club. But aside from that, anybody who wants to make contact with the club and just simply ask for Adrian Stores, then I'll send out the risk assessment just to check on people's health and emergency contacts, and then from that I give a full handbook that describes the entire logistics, backed up with a fundraising guide. So the more the merrier.
I think there's something about football fans that no matter what team you support, it's just it does bring people together, you know, and it's that's something that we're very much looking forward to with this event.
Yeah, it really does. And because genuine football fans, wherever you are, you sit down and have a really good chat about football, can't you? Whether they're a City fan, United fan, or Oldham fan, whatever, you know, you can. That's what I love about it. I love away days and things like that, or welcoming fans to Boundary Park. That you from a club and you have a good chat with them, and or you're walking away from, like when we played Leighton Orient recently in the cup, walking away and chatting to the fans and, oh, you did really well today, you were really unlucky, and then going into the pub and having a chat with them. And I love that. I love how football brings people together, because the conversation is football. Nothing else matters. So we're going to have to talk a lot of football and other things that night to keep warm, aren't we? Because we're not going to get much sleep on the in the Joe Royal stand. Knowing Latics as well, knowing Oldham, 11th of April. I mean, it could be snowing. I mean, it's snowed in April before, so it's certainly no guarantees it's going to be warm.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be dry.
Hopefully it'll be dry. Yeah,
getting wet is the worst thing.
Yeah, that is the worst
for anyone
thing.
who's rough sleeping.
Yeah,
I'm confident it'll be absolutely tropical.
Yeah, well, it could be as well. I mean, you never know. But the thing is, that's the whole idea, isn't it? It's something that you can say that you've done, and it was uncomfortable, and you put yourself out there for other people, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Brilliant. All right, well, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks
really
very much.
appreciate
Cheers,
you.
and good luck with the event, and good luck with your charity. Well done.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.